If only I had checked the balance before I trusted the smile on Bobby's face. I was sitting in my car outside the bank, engine running, phone in my hand, refreshing the screen like it might be wrong. $0. Not low. Not pending. Me. 3 alerts stacked on top of each other. Overdraft. Failed payment. Declined transfer. My name is Lydia. I am 31 years old, and that Tuesday afternoon, staring at that empty account, I felt something shift inside me. I remember thinking this was not panic. Panic is loud. This felt quiet. Final. Like the moment before glass breaks. I had gone to the bank to deposit a check from my part-time job at the bookstore. $300. Not much, but it mattered. Rent was due in 5 days. Our joint account should have had at least $2,000 in it. Bobby's paycheck had gone in last week. Mine had gone in the week before. Now there was nothing. I sat there for 10 minutes just breathing. Cars pulled in and out around me. People walked past with their coffee and their normal problems. And I sat there, holding my phone, watching that zero refuse to change. When I got home, Bobby was on the couch watching television. He looked relaxed, comfortable, like a man with no worries. I stood in the doorway holding my purse and my phone. "Bobby, the account is empty," I said. My voice came out steady, calmer than I felt. He did not look at me. He kept his eyes on the screen. "Yeah, I moved some money around," he said casually. "Moved it where?" Yes. That was when he finally looked at me. No guilt, no concern. Just mild annoyance, like I had interrupted something important. "Relax, Lydia. You are being dramatic." Those words landed like stones. Dramatic. He leaned back, crossed his arms, and said it again. "You are overreacting. I will move it back. Stop making everything a crisis." I stared at him. This was the man I had married 3 years ago. The man who said we should combine our money because we were a team. The man who volunteered to manage the account because he was better with numbers. And now he was calling me dramatic for asking where our rent money went. I did not argue. That should have scared him more. Instead, I went to the bedroom and closed the door. I sat on the edge of the bed and opened the banking app again. $0.17. I had not imagined it. I scrolled through the transaction history. Withdrawals. Lots of them. Some large, some small, all made in the last 2 weeks. Transfers to an account I did not recognize. Cash withdrawals at ATMs across town. Purchases at stores I had never been to. And then I saw the pattern. Timing. Every large withdrawal happened within 2 days of my paycheck being deposited. Bobby was not just spending our money. He was waiting for me to get paid, then taking it. I took screenshots of everything. Every transaction. Every date. Every amount. I saved them in a folder on my phone and labeled it records. Not evidence. Not revenge. Just records. Because facts do not need emotion. They just need to exist. People like Bobby. That was the thing. He was reliable. The kind of man who helped neighbors carry groceries and never raised his voice. At family dinners, people would say things like, "Bobby is so good with money," or "You are lucky to have someone so responsible." I used to believe that. We had combined finances early because Bobby said it was simpler. One account for bills, groceries, savings. We both worked, but Bobby made more, so it made sense that he would handle the account. I trusted that. I did not realize that simplicity was control. Looking back, nothing about our life looked suspicious. That is how it worked. Bobby never hid his phone. He never came home late smelling like perfume. He was not the obvious kind of liar. He was the kind who made you feel crazy for asking questions. And for a long time that worked. Until the account went to zero. That night I pulled every bank statement I could access online. The pattern did not jump out at first. Then it did. Withdrawals always followed my paydays. Same window. Same timing. If I got paid on Friday, money disappeared by Sunday. If I got paid mid-month, it vanished within 48 hours. He was not spending randomly. He was waiting for me to deposit money, then draining it. Felt sick. Not the dramatic kind of sick Bobby accused me of. quiet kind. The kind that sits in your chest and makes it hard to breathe. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw his clothes out the window. But another part of me, a colder part, told me to stay silent. To watch. To document. Because if I confronted him now, he would have time to cover his tracks. And I needed to know where the money was going. So I went quiet. I stopped asking questions. I stopped bringing up the account. I just watched. 2 days later I found the second phone. I was not looking for it. I was cleaning out the hall closet when I knocked over a box of old shoes. The phone fell out from inside a sneaker. It was small, cheap, the kind you buy at a gas station. I turned it on. No messages. No photos. Just a calendar. Hotel reservations. Shopping trips. Dinner reservations. Repeating reminders. One reminder said, apartment payment due, on the 15th of every month. Another said, weekend trip, scheduled for next month. I checked the dates against our bank statements. One reminder matched a withdrawal down to the minute. $800. Same day. Same time. That was when I understood. Nothing about this was impulsive. Bobby had been planning this. For months. Maybe longer. This was not a mistake. It was a system. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. My hands were shaking, but my mind was clear. I went back to the bank statements and started mapping the purchases. Receipts told me more than texts ever could. High-end stores, boutique shops, weekend trips to the coast, rent payments to an apartment complex I had never heard of. This was not survival spending. This was lifestyle spending. Someone else's lifestyle. The side chick was not unaware. She was not some innocent woman being lied to. She knew. She had to. Because the money was not just going to dates and gifts. It was going to rent. To bills. To building a life. A life Bobby was funding with my paychecks while calling me dramatic for noticing. I mapped everything. Every charge led to the same area of the city. The same cluster of merchants. The same apartment complex. I looked it up online. Nice building. New construction. 1-bedroom apartments starting at $1,200 a month. Bobby was paying for someone else to live there. With our money. With my money. That was when the story stopped being emotional and started being logistical. This was not about heartbreak. This was about theft. And theft has consequences. A week later, Bobby transferred a small amount back into the account. $200. He did not say anything about it. He just acted like everything was fine. When I checked the balance and saw it, he smiled at me. See, I told you I would fix it. You worry too much. For a moment I almost believed him. Almost let myself think it was over. Then the bank flagged the transaction automatically. A notification popped up on my phone. Unusual activity detected. Please verify recent transactions. False peace does not last. Not when the system is watching.
I called the bank the next morning. I asked to speak to someone in the fraud department. The woman who answered was polite but direct. Her name was Angela. She asked me to describe the situation. I told her everything. Only. No tears. No drama. Just facts. My husband has been making withdrawals and transfers from our joint account without telling me. Large amounts. The money is going to accounts and locations I do not recognize. I did not authorize these transactions. Angela listened. She did not ask how I felt. She did not offer sympathy. She asked about consent, intent, patterns. Then she said something Bobby never expected me to learn. Joint accounts do not excuse deception. If one party is using shared funds without the other's knowledge or consent, especially for personal expenses, that can qualify as financial exploitation. I sat up straighter. What does that mean? It means we can open a formal review, Angela said. We will need documentation, transaction records, any evidence of intent or pattern. I had everything ready. I sent Angela the screenshots, the transaction history, the dates and amounts, the map of purchases. I even sent photos of the second phone's calendar, matching withdrawals to scheduled events. I did not add commentary. I did not explain my feelings. I just sent the facts. The file spoke for me. Angela called me back 2 days later. Mrs. Lydia, we have reviewed your submission. Based on the pattern and the lack of joint authorization, we are escalating this to our financial crimes unit. They will contact you within 48 hours. Financial crimes. Those words felt heavy. Real. This was not a marital disagreement anymore. This was an investigation. Bobby noticed the shift. He did not know what had changed, but he felt it. He asked me if I had talked to anyone. About what? I asked, not looking up from my book. About the money thing, he said carefully. Did you call the bank or something? I turned a page. Why would I do that? You said you fixed it. He stared at me for a long moment. Then he left the room. Silence unsettles people who rely on noise. And Bobby had always relied on me reacting. On me arguing. On me being dramatic. But I was not giving him that anymore. I was giving him nothing. The financial crimes investigator called on Thursday. Her name was Vanessa. She was calm, professional and thorough. She asked me to walk her through the timeline. I did. She asked if Bobby knew I was filing a report. Said no. She asked if I felt safe. Said yes. Then she told me what would happen next. We are going to trace the transfers. We will contact the receiving accounts. If there is evidence of coordinated misuse of funds, both parties involved may face consequences. This is not just about marital finances anymore. This is about fraud. I felt something settle in my chest. Relief maybe. Or clarity. 'Cause this was not me being dramatic. This was the system agreeing with me. 3 days later, Vanessa called again. We found the external account, she said. It has been receiving recurring transfers for the last 6 months. The account is not in your husband's name. Whose name is it in? Yes. Vanessa paused. A woman named Simone Torres. Do you know her? I did not. But I memorized the name. Simone Torres. The woman living off my paychecks. We are going to contact her directly, Vanessa continued. She will be asked to verify the source of the funds and whether she was aware they came from a joint marital account. That was when it stopped being a secret and became a record. Official. Documented. Unavoidable. I looked up Simone Torres online. It was not hard to find her. She had public social media profiles. Photos of her apartment. The same apartment Bobby was paying for. Photos of her at restaurants. Wearing jewelry. Holding shopping bags. In some of the photos there were hints of Bobby. A hand on her shoulder. A reflection in a mirror. She was not hiding. She was living. And she was doing it with my money. The transaction notes Vanessa showed me proved it. Shared expenses. Long-term commitments. Rent. Utilities. Groceries. This was not an affair funded by impulse. This was a future funded by me. Without warning, the bank placed a temporary hold on the joint account. No confrontation. No announcement. Just sudden restriction. Bobby could not access it. He could not transfer money. He could not withdraw cash. He found out when his card was declined at a gas station. He came home furious. What did you do? He shouted. The account is frozen. They said there is an investigation. Did you report me? I looked at him calmly. I reported unauthorized transactions. The bank did the rest. His face went red. You had no right. That is my money too. No, I said quietly. It was our money. You made it yours. Now it is evidence. Bobby tried to change the story. He said I was lying. That I was trying to ruin him. He threatened to file for divorce. He called me vindictive. Manipulative. Crazy. But emotion does not override audits. And the bank had already seen everything. Vanessa called me the next day. Your husband has requested access to the account. We denied it. The hold will remain in place until the investigation is complete. Felt nothing. No anger. No satisfaction. Just quiet certainty that I had done the right thing. The bank scheduled a formal call with Bobby. They needed to verify consent, authorization and disclosure. I was not on the call, but Vanessa told me what happened. Bobby's answers did not match the records. He said the money was for business expenses. The records showed rent payments to a residential address. He said the transfers were temporary loans. The records showed recurring monthly payments over 6 months. He said I had given him permission. I had signed a statement saying I had not. Facts do not negotiate. And Bobby had none on his side. A week later, Vanessa told me they had contacted Simone Torres. She was interviewed separately. Her explanation contradicted his. Bobby said she was a business partner. Simone said she was his girlfriend. Bobby said the money was a loan. Simone said it was support. Bobby said it was temporary. Simone said they had been planning to move in together permanently. That is how coordination reveals itself. When two people tell two different stories, the truth sits in the gap between them. The bank made a decision. Funds were provisionally restored to me. Not all of it. Not yet. But enough to cover rent. Enough to survive. Control returned quietly. The joint account was closed. A new account was opened in my name only. Bobby could not touch it. The review continued, but I was no longer trapped. Could breathe. Simone's life collapsed first. Her account was flagged for receiving misused funds. Rent payments stalled. Plans froze. Stability vanished. I do not know if she tried to contact Bobby. I do not know if she blamed him or blamed me. She never contacted me. She did not need to. The silence said everything. Bobby's reputation followed the money. The bank report triggered other consequences. His employer was notified because he had listed me as a financial dependent on his insurance. Policy violations led to an internal review. The image he had protected for years cracked without noise. People who used to say, "Bobby is so good with money," started asking different questions. And Bobby had no good answers. The bank finalized its findings. Both Bobby and Simone were held accountable. Separately. Formally. The money Bobby had taken was classified as financial exploitation. He was required to repay it. All of it. With interest. Simone was required to return funds she had received knowingly. The apartment lease was flagged. The lifestyle crumbled. No shouting. No scenes. Just paperwork and consequences. I did not confront Bobby after that. I did not demand closure or apologies. I just left. I packed my things while he was at work. I took what was mine and nothing else. I left the key on the counter. Silence was enough. He called me 17 times that night. I did not answer. He sent messages. Apologies. Excuses. Promises. I blocked his number. Because I did not need revenge. I needed records. And the system had handled the rest. If only Bobby had understood that the quiet wife was already done talking. If only Simone had asked where the money came from. If only they had known that silence is not weakness. It is strategy. I did not yell. I did not beg. I did not make scenes. I made records. I gave them to people who do not care about tears or apologies. People who only care about facts. And the facts destroyed them both. Quietly. Completely. Forever. Bobby thought calling me dramatic would make me stop asking questions. Instead, it made me stop talking altogether. And that was the moment he lost everything. Because the woman he underestimated had already decided. Not to fight. Not to scream. But to document. And let the system do what systems do best. Hold people accountable. Without mercy. Without noise. Just consequences. Cold. Final. Deserved. I am Lydia. I am 31 years old. And I learned that revenge does not need to be loud. Just needs to be thorough.